Do you want to keep your RV cool during the summer months? Maybe a little understanding and some TLC might be all that it takes.
I'm gonna kiss you in the morning, miss you when you're gone, and write you every day. I'm gonna be the one you call and talk to all night. We don't need no money, we can make a little bit of sunshine.
If you own an RV, you're probably already aware that they're not insulated very well. So the air conditioners have to work pretty hard to maintain a comfortable temperature during those summer months. When it comes to maintenance on an RV air conditioner, there's really not too much you can do. They do have capacitors in them that can be replaced. These capacitors usually go out if you're running your AC on low voltage. That is something that can be replaced, generally speaking. Other than that, there's not too much you can do to it. However, you can help keep your RV air conditioner clean so it runs more efficiently and doesn't have to run as hard. And that's something we're going to talk about today. But before we get into how we clean our air conditioners, let's talk a little bit about the general concept of how an RV air conditioner works. I'm going to use this handy dandy little diagram that I drew up to help explain how an RV air conditioner works. Now, I am not an AC guy. This is my understanding of how an AC works, and this will be at a very, very high level. But I did think it was worth it to at least go over a general concept on the operation of an RV air conditioner before we get into how to maintain them and how to clean them. This diagram does depict, this is supposed to be the roof of the RV. This is the front of the RV facing this way, and this is the sideways, I guess basically a cutaway of an air conditioner. Now basically what happens is the whole process is the air conditioner draws in hot air from the environment. In our particular case, this is the RV. It passes this hot air over the evaporator coils. Now these evaporator coils contain a refrigerant, which is basically a chemical compound that can absorb the heat. Now as this refrigerant absorbs heat, it changes from a liquid to a gaseous state. At this point, this gaseous refrigerant is then sent to the compressor, which compresses the gas and actually raises its temperature even further. So the process of compressing this gas is going to basically raise the temperature. Now this hot compressed refrigerant then flows through the condenser coil, where it releases the heat that is absorbed from the RV interior out to the outside world. So this refrigerant at this point, when it gets to the condenser, it's in a gaseous state. It's warm, it has heat in there from the RV. As it passes over, it releases the heat to the outside environment. And what happens at this point is the refrigerant starts to cool because it released its heat. It changes back to a liquid state and returns to the evaporator coils. And basically it can start the process all over again. Now these RV air conditioner systems, they also have a fan. These fans, they blow air, I should say this fan or a fan blows air over the evaporator and condenser coils. It's basically used to help transfer the heat more efficiently. Okay. The air conditioners also have some filters. These are, a lot of people are familiar with cleaning your air filters, and we'll talk about these a little bit when we get into cleaning the air conditioner. That's kind of the general concept of what's happening. There is a misconception. Some people think that the RV air conditioner draws in cool air from the outside environment and brings that into the RV. It's kind of actually the other way around. It's actually expelling warm air from the RV and transferring that to the outside environment. Something else to be aware of. RV air conditioners, generally speaking, can only work up to about a 22-degree differential, 16 to 22 degrees, generally speaking. What I mean by that is, let's take the example of it being 100 degrees outside. The best you can hope for is roughly to get your RV down to about 78 degrees on the inside. Now this doesn't all happen at one time. Just because you turn your air conditioner on, it's not going to go from 100 degrees to 78 inside. It's going to go through the process that we just talked about. The air is going to go through the evaporator coils, the compressor, the condenser, and it's going to circle through, and maybe each time it goes through, the air drops down by a couple degrees. So as your air conditioner is running, that temperature is going to drop from about 100 degrees, maybe down to 98, 96, and down to wherever you have your thermostat set to, or 78 degrees, or the max that it can handle. So this is a general understanding, a general concept of how an RV air conditioner works. If you find stuff like this helpful or even entertaining, please subscribe to our channel. Please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a thing and it helps us out. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to start to clean our AC. We're going to get up on the roof. We have 3 ACs. I'll show you on one of them the kind of the processes that we take. Once we're done with that, we're going to come back inside and I'll show you what we do on the inside. So right now, let's get up on the roof and start cleaning the ACs. Before we climbed up on the roof, we did turn the power off to our AC units. Actually turned the breakers off, so we don't have any power up here at all. So we're just trying to be safe with that. Now the very first thing we're going to do before we start cleaning is to remove the outside shroud. The outside shroud is held on by 4 Phillips head screws, so we're going to go ahead and take those off now. Oh, jeez. Well, that didn't work out. Now that we've removed the outside shroud, we can go ahead and remove the inside shroud that's covering up the evaporator coils. I do expect these to be pretty dirty. It's been a while. Oh yeah. Now that we have the evaporator coils exposed, we're going to do a general cleaning. We're going to look around the base, look for any leaks, see if we see anything that just doesn't look right, and just do a general cleaning, trying to get out any big pieces of debris, usually like leaves and things like that. This is the first time we've cleaned this out, and it has been 2 years. So we're just trying to be as gentle as we can, get out any of the big debris, pull out whatever we can, and then we want to be careful. We don't want to poke anything. We don't want to put any holes or anything in the coil. So we're just being as gentle as we can here. I did go around the base of the unit. I removed any big pieces of debris like leaves and pine needles. My next step is to start cleaning the evaporator coils. I will use the same little brush. I will go up and down on the fins and basically try to remove as much of the big heavy debris that's caked on first. Then I'm going to use this Nu-Calgon foam. I'm using this only because it's recommended by the professionals. One nice thing about this though is you do not have to spray it off with water. So first step, get the big stuff off the fins, and the next step we're going to foam it down with this. First thing we're going to do is just use our little brush. Just try to remove whatever we can gently. You can see there's a lot of dust coming off of this. So we want to get as much as we can before we spray it. And again, this is just going to make the airflow a little bit easier, make the air conditioner work a little bit easier, and hopefully be a little bit more efficient. And I'm using this Nu-Calgon foam. The only reason why I'm using it is just because it's what's recommended by some of the professionals. So, and this you do not have to rinse off either. So I'm going to use this on the evaporator coils. Just read the instructions. You just shake before you use it. Start from the bottom, work your way up. Now that we've cleaned off our evaporator coils with this little bristly brush, we're going to do the same thing on our condenser coils. We're going to use the brush up and down motion, try to clean the fins off. Then we're going to use this foam cleaner here. Now this here is going to foam up. We're going to let it set for about 15 minutes until the foam dissipates, and then we will rinse this off with water. So now we're going to head back to the condenser coils and clean those off as well. So we're going to use the brush, try to remove whatever we can. Hopefully you can tell these aren't quite as bad as the evaporator coils up front, but there's still some dirt on them. Again, we're using this foaming cleaner. Again, the only reason why I'm using it is I like that it comes with the brush, and it is recommended by the professionals. And we'll shake again before we start using it. I just finished spraying down the condenser coils in the back. By the time it took me to do that and get that going, now my evaporator coils are pretty much done, so I can go ahead and start closing up, or I can close up the cover to the evaporator coils. About the time I'm done doing that, then the condenser coils should be just about done. I go ahead and rinse those off. So right now we're going to go ahead and close up the evaporator coils. Now that we have the cover back over the evaporator coils, I do want the condenser coils to work a little while longer. I want that foam still to do some more work. It hasn't quite finished yet. So I will take this time to do as much cleaning as I can. I want to clean off the cover that covers the evaporator coils. I already did around the base. I got the big debris out. But now I'm going to take a cloth and just kind of wipe everything off, and just a general cleaning and an inspection. Now this dirt isn't going to hurt anything, but while we're here we might as well go ahead and clean up as much as we can, just to get any debris out of there and any dirt, and just make it as clean as possible. The foam on the condenser coils have been on there now for about 15 minutes. It's pretty much all gone. All the foam is about dissipated. So now all we have left to do is to rinse it off with some water, and then we can put the outside shroud on. Now you can use a garden hose to clean this off. I prefer a spray bottle. It's a little bit cleaner. With the garden hose you can have a little bit more potential to get water down inside the RV with overspray. I also like to have a rag available, so when the chemicals do start coming off, I can rinse those off of the roof. The condenser coils have been wiped down with water. Now all that's left to do is to put the shroud back on. When we took our shrouds off, it's easiest to take them off from the front, lift the front up first, and then slide it off backwards. So putting them back on is going to be the exact opposite. We want to get the back end started first and then push the front end over the top and lock it in place. It is held on by 4 screws. I will be putting Loctite on these just to help to prevent them from vibrating loose, just a little bit of safety. Now that we've finished cleaning on the roof, the last thing we're going to do is to clean the filters in the AC units. Each of our AC units have 2 filters in them. They're pretty easy to clean. In our particular case, we just snap off the outside cover, slide the filters out. Some people like to use like a microfiber cloth to rub the filters to get any debris off the filters that way. I like to personally use warm water and soap and rub it with my hand, or even a cloth if you want to at that. But I do like the warm water and soap just to help clean off as much as we can. Once we're done with that, we'll let our filters lay out in the sun and let them basically air dry. Once they're completely dry, we'll just reverse the process, slide the filters back in, and snap on the outside covers. Very easy, very quick. We like to do this about twice a year. Usually the first time we'll do it is about middle of the year or the beginning of summer. Hopefully this video helped you out to get a general understanding on how the air conditioner works, the concept of an evaporator coil, a compressor, and a condenser as well. Also on how we clean our air conditioners. Now there is something else you could do while you're up there. Those little fins that we were cleaning, there are tools to help straighten those out. We did have some bent fins. I do not currently have the proper tool for that. That's why I didn't show you how to do it. Now that is something I will buy in the future. Next time I clean them, I will use that as well. But hopefully this video helped you out. Remember, always live life to the fullest.